For most drivers, families, and businesses, the scene right behind me tells a story of sacrifice and hardship that people have had to make for the last several months while they've watched gasoline prices steadily climb. In Chicago, some of the highest gasoline prices in the nation. And what's going on with the oil companies behind these gasoline prices? The top 5 oil companies in the United States in the first 3 months of this year reported more than $30 billion in profits. Those profits come from the prices that are being charged at these gas stations all across America. People of America are paying 3 times. They're paying at the pump, they know that every day. They're also paying when it comes tax time. The taxes being collected from families across America are providing subsidies to these oil companies. But there's a third hit. We have to borrow money from China to give subsidies to oil companies. And that means our kids and grandkids will be paying interest on the money we borrow. This has got to come to an end. I know the defenders of the oil companies will just tell us, well, if you raise any taxes on oil companies, gas prices will go up again. It's the old money or your life threat. I don't buy it. We're going to have this bill to take away the oil subsidy from these oil companies and put it directly into reducing the deficit. $21 billion over 10 years. That's money that we won't have to borrow from China and money our kids won't have to pay back. The taxpayers are sending multi-billion-dollar subsidies to these oil companies at a time when they're seeing record-breaking profits. We can't afford that anymore. This week in Washington, we'll start considering a bill in the United States Senate that will say that the tax breaks for big oil companies have to come to an end. We cannot afford to subsidize these companies $4 and $5 billion a year to the tune of what we measure $21 billion over 10 years at the expense of our deficit and our economy. What we've got to do is stand together as a nation and say to these oil companies, do business if you wish. We hope we can find a way to bring down your prices, but we aren't going to let you force the taxpayers to also subsidize your business. Every spring we see the same thing happen. The gasoline prices go up, people complain, then they start to come down, but they never get back to where they started. And so it slowly ratchets up the price of gasoline each and every year. That's what's likely to happen this year too.